Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Rex Rogosh, and let's queer up politics. Trump picks out lesbian Tammy Bruce for UN role. But is it really a step up? President Donald Trump has tapped one of his administration's most visible out officials, Tammy Bruce, for a high-profile role at the United Nations, though some insiders aren't convinced that it's an upward move. Trump announced the pick on Truth Social, calling Bruce a, quote, great patriot, television personality, and best-selling author, end quote. Bruce, a lesbian and former radio host, has served as State Department spokesperson under Secretary of State Marco Rubio since the start of Trump's second term. Bruce's political journey has been anything but typical. Once a liberal activist and the first queer woman to host a national mainstream radio talk show, she led the Los Angeles chapter of the National Organization for Women before parting ways with the group in the 1990s. Over the years, she shifted rightward, joining Fox News and building a reputation as a conservative commentator. Despite the ceremonial weight of the title, former U.S. Deputy UN Ambassador Robert Woods said, quote, given the disdain in MAGA world for anything UN, it's hard to imagine Tammy Bruce's nomination as U.S. Deputy Representative to the UN being seen as a promotion, end quote. If confirmed, Bruce will serve under Ambassador-designate Mike Waltz, whose own move to the UN followed his controversial exit as White House National Security Advisor in wake of Singlegate. It's hard for me to even talk about some of this stuff because it's all asinine. It's completely asinine.
I can provide an explanation right away. Tammy Bruce, Richard Grenell, all these LGBTQ people who are out front in administration, they're all window dressing. Richard Grenell is not heading the Kennedy Center, which is a nothing job when it comes to politics.
They're dust.
And Tammy, and putting Tammy in UN, which MAGA world hated.
They want to get out of the UN anyway.
It's just tokenism, and because when our community criticized the administration for basically anti-LGBTQ policies, the White House can point out, see, we have gay people in our administration, except they do nothing. They're
self-hating gays.
Jobs. Exactly. But people who are low information, uneducated, they're going to be like, oh, see, you have a lesbian and a gay, so why are you complaining?
Well, but let's be queer. Let's be queer here. Let's be clear here. Both Tammy Bruce and Grenell are both has been
100%
lacking disappointments. Neither one of them have done anything since the 90s, except be on Fox News.
And we also have Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary.
Well, that's a whole. We're being specific to Tammy Bruce right now. I mean, I am of that generation where I recognize the name, but I had to do homework to figure out who the hell she is, and she's just a 90s version of, a has-been reality star. She created problems for herself with the National Organization of Women.
Yep.
They asked her to leave because of comments that she made against some
I did not know that's he.
Yes.
So, I did not know that.
They asked her to leave. She didn't leave them.
They asked her to leave because she caused a controversy when she refused to address a body of black women about concerns they had about the organization and representing the African American community.
Oh, Jesus.
And people of color. And she just went batshit crazy.
Even in the 90s, there was toxic
in the 90s. And then she got on Fox News, and she just started going further and further and further and further crazy.
And she used to be pro-choice.
Yeah. Now she's not.
And in her own words, she basically said that being a lesbian for her was a choice. That when she was in her relationship,
her 1-year relationship
with an actress
who was 30 years her senior.
Correct. Yes, the tea gets piping, people. She said that she looked at her relationship and she said, I could have a relationship with a man, however, I had to have a woman in it. However, I could have a relationship with a woman and didn't have to have a man with it, so I guess I'm a lesbian. So it was a choice. So again, I am not even going to call them the gays in the cabinet because they are all self-hating, self-loathing. They're not even window dressing. They barely are the lint that gets in the cracks.
And these people, I don't know if Tammy is married. I know Richard Grinnell is. I know Scott Bass.
She is single,
is.
and she has said that she has never been married and will never marry.
And when SCOTUS strike down Obergefell, as Trump was hoping that they would, when they were forced to dissolve their marriage, I'm going to stand there and say, you brought it on yourself.
Look, they don't want to be in the UN, and they needed someone there, so they threw the lowest body. They threw the body, the lowest fruit.
They have to be in the UN for one reason. They need to stay in the Security Council to veto everything.
Right. So this story is just very disappointing on so many different levels, and all we're doing is we're talking about somebody who should have no position of.
She shouldn't be in government power.
None of them.
Period.
None of them should.
Her claim to fame to this point is nothing more than she was a has-been on Fox News.
So basically, we were watching the Fox rendition of the political party. So every day is a show is basically what we're watching. So again, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.